We need to find this place or we'll be late.
Make a left on Astrology Avenue. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant right. It should be right here. 4th Streetway. Oh, turn!
It looks like Renee. Yay, we're on time.
The James and Kellee Show.
Great, let's start the show.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, Kellee. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody coming on.
Yes.
How have you been? How was your New Year's?
Well, it was quiet because 2 of our members ended up with COVID, so it was quiet. How was yours?
It was quiet. I actually went swimming. Don't ask.
In your pool, or did you go somewhere?
I warmed up my pool, and I had a
Yeah.
friend visit me, an old friend of 40 years of the relationship, close friend of mine, and yeah, we hung out and watched movies and went shopping, and redesigned the house. We decorated the house.
How fun is that?
And they had lots of food and brought the Pearl around, and it was fun. It was a relaxing, still kind of time, which is great. I like
How
that.
does Pearl get along with new people when they enter?
She's just all love. She does
So
her hula dance with her rear end, and my friend Chip has her sister, and
That's right.
he's my friend who brought Pearl down here originally and Minnie down here for me several months ago when they were puppies. So he got to see what Pearl looks like now, and we got to see Minnie too. We got to see Minnie, so we got to see them again. And he has a sister, so it's so funny, and they're very much alike. So
Oh,
yeah.
Sweet,
Right.
Good.
yeah,
Good.
and you never had COVID? Did you have COVID?
No, I
No,
did not.
good
No,
luck.
I've not had COVID yet.
Never mind. Nothing that I know of.
We've been very fortunate. No, I have had friends that do, though. Lots of friends.
Lots of friends. Yeah.
Yeah, that have.
Well, hello
Wow.
everybody. Look, Sherry Kraft, hello, and Tracy.
Hi, Renee.
Hi,
Hi,
Renee.
Corey.
Butterfly Kisses Healing. Corey,
Sweet.
hi. Karen Roger, hi. And Kelly, what did you do for New Year's? Just stayed at home then.
We just stayed home. Yeah, I had a little dinner party.
Was it snowing there? Was it?
There was a lot of snow on the ground,
Did
but
you
it
have an Arctic blast
Okay.
tornado thing?
So on the 22nd, we actually flew to Texas, and
that's right.
right,
That's
right,
right. I
and it was
texting with you.
harrowing. I am not kidding you.
And
It
I
was
said, "Are you
harrowing.
crazy?"
Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God. It was amazing to watch, though, the choreography of the ice trucks and trying to get the snow out of the way and de-ice the plane and all of that. And oh, I tell you what, I was just grateful to arrive safely and grateful to come home without COVID. That's the way I travel nowadays, right?
And you with your whole family were down there.
Yeah, they were all there. We all met. Now, Theo, my little brother Theo, and his mom Judy, they got stuck on Southwest. And they had to drive back to Taos, New Mexico, 18 hours straight.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a pretty
Wow.
radical drive, from what I understand.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
So,
Crazy.
wow.
Wow, look at this. And it's interesting. Today's like the first day for me. I know with you, but going back to work kind of.
Yeah.
It's time to here we are.
It's here we are. And it's interesting, James, because we started the new year with Mercury in retrograde and Mars in retrograde. So the energy hasn't really felt like it's taken off yet. Has it felt that way for you?
Exactly right. And then we had that full moon the other night, right?
We had the wolf moon. Wolf moon. Yeah. It was
I was out there howling. I was howling with Pearl. Oh! Yeah.
We could hear
It's
that
funny
out here.
because I usually will feel them 2 days before I feel the full moons. Always,
Mhm.
always 2 days before. And I felt not as strong, but then I was out with our friend Jeff and Debbie and for dinner. And Jeff goes, "Oh, there's a full moon tonight." I said, "It looks like a full moon." He goes, "Yeah, it's a wolf moon tonight." So
And you were feeling it ahead.
Yeah, ahead. It's always 2 days ahead. I feel it. What was it in full moon?
Well, it was in Gemini, if I go by Vedic astrology. And what it really brought was a lot of hopefulness, actually, and the positive things that can happen. So we're going to be feeling the effects for the next about 2 weeks. We're going to see a shift in energy that will finally help us start this new year. I mean, that's what we're going to be talking about this new year. But it's really the effects of Mercury going direct finally, because it's been retrograde for 3.5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it goes direct on the 18th of March. Of January. And also Mars going direct on the 14th
Thank God.
of January. So when you have those two go direct, especially Mars go direct, it's going to bring us a lot of energy. So whatever we talk about today in establishing, new tips for you and getting you to go starting the new year, just know that the energy, we've got a couple of weeks probably where the energy is a little kind of slowish and then full speed ahead.
I call it clunky energy. It feels
Clunky. I
clunky.
love that word. Yeah.
That's what it feels like. Very
Yeah.
clunky energy. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. That's the week I'm going to be filming my meditation course.
What day are you beginning
I
filming?
start next Monday. Next
Okay, so you'll be
Monday.
right in this energy of the changing of the planets.
Which
And
is
the other thing, which is really interesting, James, is that on the 17th, Saturn, after 2.5 years of being in Capricorn, goes into Aquarius. Now, I'm talking Vedic astrology here, everybody. But when that happens on the 17th, we're going to see a shift in the world. Mars going direct, Mercury going direct, Saturn changing signs after 2.5 years. And Saturn in Aquarius is going to bring about amazing discoveries, amazing ways to view life, amazing new technologies that we had talked about earlier. So
yeah.
for you to start doing the meditation course is perfect because people are going to look for new ways of healing, which are really the old ways, if you think about it.
It's true. It's true. They're going to go back inside themselves.
Yes.
They're
Yeah.
outside themselves and I started going inside
Well,
themselves.
and
Everything
that's what this year is about.
it's inner guidance and,
Yes.
within going
It's
within.
going within, and I think that one of the things that people should do this now really is kind of start doing an assessment on themselves. Like, what do you think about that?
Well, you and I would have the same brain waves, and because we're talking about tips and preparing this. The first thing is, well, everybody should have an assessment of their life right now,
Right.
what's important to them, what do they want, the goals. I find it was for a new year, especially this year for some reason, maybe because what you're saying, Kelly, is to write the goals, what they want to accomplish, and what have a clear indication of what you want to accomplish this year. And really clarify that and assess what's important to you. What are your values?
Well, and where are you right now? And really be honest if you can look at it. Are you depressed? Are you anxious? Are you in a bad relationship? Are you wanting to change, get healthier? Are you sick? Are you things like that? Now, one of the things that I always suggest is also at the same time making a list of gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for? But then also at the same time making a list of where are you right now? Like, let's just, see where you are at this exact moment.
Kelly, every time that it's really for many, many years now, and I think it happened just naturally, but it's been a reoccurring annual type of a behavior for me. It's at the end of the year, beginning of the year, I'm always in a clean out, decluttering mode. I'm always in that kind of normal reassessment of what's going on. So I'll clean the house out, like I threw my 30 years of CDs and cleaning out all the stuff I don't need anymore. I find that's very valuable for people to do that now for a new year, is to go kind of clean what's going on within you.
I think it's a great idea because then you start to create space. And I'll tell you, when you have more space, it's amazing. All of a sudden, you start to feel a little more creative. You might start to feel energetic. You might start to feel better about things.
Yeah, creating space for yourself. It's really, really true.
Mhm.
And it's funny. Before I was thinking about the show, and it really clearly came through to me. This is a good time for them to change their perspective. Change their perspective of who they are, of the world they're in, of the people in their lives. And then I got another thing, which was really interesting out of that. See it from another person's point of view. So see things from another person's point of view. And then I was like, well, what does that mean? And then I had this thing came over me of, you can imagine that you're with someone, like it could be a partner, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker, but become them looking at you. And then the thought came, when you interact with someone, you realize that how they look at you and how you're seeing them, you're looking at every experience that person's ever had in this lifetime. And what are you bringing up for them? You can stir up all these different emotional experiences with them, situations with them, mental things, traumas, happy times, good times. So, when you meet someone or you're talking with someone, you're seeing many, many layers, if you will.
Yeah.
And so see from their point of view, this whole thing of seeing from their perspective, looking at yourself, how do they see you? And it's just an interesting exchange.
I love that idea. And I love that changing the perspective. I'm always into looking at different lenses, and the lens of seeing of what you're describing is a wonderful tool, because then it might evoke from somebody, Empathy.
Empathy, to see it from someone else's POV. Change your POV, your
Yeah.
point of view. Change your POV
Mhm.
and open it up to other ways of thinking, other ways of experiencing things. For instance, I was I don't know where I was doing the dishes or something, and I was just in my head as we daydream or think about things, and I heard someone say to me, they don't have life skills.
Ah,
They don't have the proper life skills, so they don't know any better because they don't have proper life skills. They weren't
yeah.
taught certain things. So we cannot expect them to behave a certain way if they don't know how to behave because they were never taught those life skills. And that made a lot of sense.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And the other thing I was thinking about today goes along with that is that, and you and I talk about people that are unconscious all the time.
Yesterday we talked about
Just talking about it yesterday. But and when so what here's what I think about consciousness. It's a constant because you might think you're totally conscious and next thing you know it's like there's another level of consciousness that hits you.
so true. It's so true. It's really, really true. I don't I just I always kind of I'm aware of what's going on and I'm always the observer. And I think it's really great to be in that space of you're the observer. You don't have to act in something. I'm sorry, honey. You just have to be present and be aware and don't space out. You know, be in the body. We're here to be in the body, not the, it's so funny when we get this new age, which is old age, think, oh, you're going to get so spaced out and that's really spiritually really out there. No, it's just the opposite. You have to really be grounded in the body and be grounded, being aware of everything around you and how you're interacting because each moment counts. And we've got to be active with each moment. It's very important.
It's very important. And I loved how you just said that and how you phrased that because when we're in that moment, you're very present. And when you're very present, it's you can observe and receive all kinds of messages, things that you would have missed totally.
And Kelly, if you can be observant
Mhm.
without a judgment, totally
Oh,
non-judgmental, just observe without a
right.
judgment, just observe and see what it's
You
really.
know, that would be for a lot of people a challenge. And a challenge is always an opportunity. So maybe one of the challenges, challenge yourself this year is not to be so judgmental or not to be judgmental because you don't know what that other person has gone through.
It's very true. And another one would be for people, what you would like to do is what would happen? You can maybe write a page on this or type a page or write in your journal. What would happen if you let go of control?
It's a
What
great
happens
one.
if
What
you
would happen?
what
Right?
would happen if you let go of those things you want to control? What would happen? And just write it down. What would happen actually? And you'll write. You'd probably find out nothing. The world would still go around, and days
Right.
would turn the nights, and so forth and so on. And wow, it didn't really need you to control it. It did what it did. It did naturally.
Right.
The only thing you can control is how you respond to things, but you
Yeah.
can't control other people. And the moment we let ourselves be free of that, it's a freeing. It's an opening, as you say. It's create space, and that's where you truly live because it was so really connect with holding on to something and controlling something, we're really limiting ourselves and our experience.
Completely. Completely we are. And another thing to look at is are you negative?
Yes. So
Negativity.
in your assessments, what
Yeah.
negative? Because like attracts like, and if you're negative, if you're depressed or you're down, you're drawing that to you because we're
Right.
magnets. And we're going to draw negative people to us, negative experiences to us. And all you have to thank is yourself for that. It's not
It's
someone else.
totally.
It's
I
just
want let me read this, James, because I thought this was a lovely statement. It's short. It says, once upon a time, there was a Native American elder who was telling his grandson a story of two wolves, speaking of wolves,
I know the
you
story.
know
Yeah.
this one, that live in each one of us and wage a daily struggle for dominance in our lives. One wolf is filled with love and joy and hope and peace and gratitude and optimism and generosity and understanding, humility, kindness, truth, faith, and compassion. And the other is a reflection of bitterness, envy, anger, sorrow, guilt, greed, arrogance, self pity, inferiority, lies, ego, selfishness, and judgment. Their struggle is constant, their determination to win unwavering. So, which wolf wins? Asked the grandson. The grandfather responded, the one you feed.
Yeah. It's true.
I
So
love
true.
that.
Good one.
Yeah,
That's so true. You are what you think. You are what you say.
right.
I was listening to some music and Into the Woods, Broadway musical, and the great about children will listen, and it's words have power. Be careful of the words, the slightest
Oh,
action because it's energy and your words have energy. One of the first experience I had this year was a person I know, and I had to say right away to them, first beginning of the year, first day or second day, said, don't send negative energy. Don't speak like that because words have power, and you're putting darkness, you're putting limitations out there with your words, and you can't do that. Words have power, and they get all over you, and they get all over the space, and they go where they're directed, and it's intention.
Yes.
And you got to be mindful of what the words that you say, and they have power. So
Mhm.
how you treat yourself is really, really important. So, loving yourself is a way to do it. This is Anne Margaret wrote this. What about a year without resistance? Anne Margaret just wrote that.
Oh, I love that.
Great one.
Thanks, Anne Margaret.
Great. It's a great one.
I
And
love that.
and just be. Don't be.
Yeah.
Don't get to do everything. Just first of all, breathe. Breathing really helps. Getting to the breath.
Well, breathing really helps, especially if you're having an anxiety moment or if you're anxious about something. Breathing really does help because
Yeah.
it changes the brain waves.
And it's funny because I was talking to Kelly about the show that I was watching. We watched it on Netflix.
Oh,
And I wrote down some notes on it because it was really, really powerful. And the psychiatrist said it was a show on pills.
it was called Xanax.
Take your pills, Xanax.
Yeah, take your pills, Xanax.
Psychiatrist, and really interesting. And one lady said, I wrote it down, it was so fascinating, about anxiety. And it's the same type of thing you're talking about, which wolf you feed, because you can have a calming moment in your behavior. Let's say, create a biological state of relaxation. So we can do that. We can create a state of relaxation through meditation, through mindfulness, through loving creative work. Because if you have a biological state of relaxation, it can actually disrupt the anxiousness experience, anxiety. You can't have
Yeah.
both. So it's
Yeah.
anxiety or relaxation. So which one do you
I
want?
love that one, that statement.
Right?
I loved it. And the other one I liked that they talked about is social connection will help with anxiety.
They were talking about being alone. That's one of the
Mhm.
worst things, is to be alone. And there was a psychiatrist. One of the psychiatrists talked about COVID. She decided that she couldn't go to the gym. She couldn't be out there, so she decided to volunteer at horse paddocks and clean the horses and clean out the stalls. And she said,
I wrote that down too, James. Yeah. I'll tell you why horses are so healing. And it got her out. And I thought that was wonderful. And volunteering, doing something good for the world makes you feel better.
make a difference in someone's life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny we talk about the horses because next week I had these two ladies who are filmmakers and they're staying at my house because they're filming a documentary on the connection between humans and horses in the brain, the neurological connection.
Wait, were these the women that were on our show?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, they're coming next week to film here. So I invited them to stay at my house.
Great.
'Cause they
Oh,
live in-
you have to tell us all about it. This is going to be
I will,
exciting.
maybe Monday night they'll come on the show if they're around here.
Oh, I would love that.
The next week will be an interesting week because I'm filming and they're filming.
I think that's great.
This is interesting. She also mentioned, which I love, lose yourself in the doing.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
Lose yourself in the doing. Don't think about it. Just get caught up in the doing of something. And if it's
Yeah.
something positive for helping someone or making the world a better place or your space a better place, one person, get lost in the doing of it. And I love that.
I love that. Another one, James, was this one. It's okay to feel feelings, but feelings are not facts, and
Feelings are
thoughts
not
are not facts.
Really, really good. It's
Yeah.
good.
We were taking the same notes.
Yeah, of course. And then I wrote down, which I wrote this before. I wrote it down, and then I watched this movie, and it was on the movie. Create a new mindset, which is, of course, we just talked about new perspective, POV.
Yeah,
Create a new mindset this year. How do you want to live your life this year? What's the mindset?
right.
What do you
What's
want
the
to
mindset?
practice your life
Right,
this year?
right.
You don't repeat last year. Just what's going to be new about it? What's going to bring you happiness? What
And-
makes you happy?
And it could be learning something new. It could be taking a class. It could be doing something that you've always wanted to do. This would be a great year for that.
I decided I'm taking art classes.
You are.
Yes.
What are you going to be doing?
I'm going to do an art class. I'm sure it'll be in oils or acrylics or watercolor. I'm not sure yet, but I'm putting that out there. So I'm going to have to research it still. But that's something I've always wanted to do. And, I lived in
That's
the
great.
for 17 years. And of course, there was an artist colony. And I wanted to paint. I never did it. And I here in San Diego, and I still have all my supplies. And I'm going to do it this year. I have
Oh,
to.
I think it's great.
It's great.
My assistant, Carissa, she started doing clay work.
It's great.
And she's loving it. Yeah.
something creative, that creative energy, a creative flow, because
Yeah.
I think it's always good to do something new, to create
Hmm.
something new, to do something new. So
Yeah.
even down to changing the closet, like the different clothes in the drawers, changing up the drawers with different things, putting the stuff in the front, top drawer down the bottom drawer, and very Virgo of them. But
Well, and also, how about driving home in a different direction?
driving home in your direction, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Looking at new things that you may not have seen before.
Cleaning out your closet.
Yeah, that's would be a great thing.
It's funny how the thoughts are not facts. You're so funny.
And another one, they talked about breaking chronic patterns and habits.
Right.
So you have to really kind of, what are your patterns that are habits that you would like to change this year? Again, this is a great year if you want to make a change in anything like that. And it doesn't have to be start off so dramatically. A little change. Like I started drinking every morning lemon water, a real large lemon water, and I love it. I just squeeze a lemon, I put my little minerals in it, and
It's so
it's
weird you're telling me this. It's
oh
just
no, are you doing that too?
no. I was just talking to our friend Joe skiing, and
Okay.
he said his wife had some kidney stones, and he said she's on lemon water. And I said, yeah. And I just talked to him about a tea with lemon, and
Oh,
everybody should drink it. And that's and here we
okay.
are.
Here we
Yep.
are. Okay. So here's the other thing. That's funny you would say that. I discovered Scottish breakfast tea.
Never heard of it.
It's so good. So, you've heard of English breakfast or any of that. It's just a black tea. But I tell you what, I love that. And I love this green tea that I'm drinking. So I'm drinking a lot of more teas during the day.
That's interesting. That's very interesting, Kelly. I was with teas about 2 hours ago on the online.
I'll tell Joey's right on.
And I wrote down natural herbal teas. Well,
Uh,
natural herb. Also, natural herbs handle stress that way. Oh,
yeah.
one thing you said before, you just said, I just got back. Look when those chronic patterns that
Yeah.
you break. Look in your life and see who's not supporting you, and what are you holding on to that is not supporting you? Why do you hold on to it in your assessment? Why are you holding on to these things? What do you hope to get from them? What's satisfying from it?
Well, it's funny that you're talking about that
I
because
don't know, because
when you and I have had to let go of a lot of people in our
oh yeah,
lives,
oh sure,
you know,
within
and
reason lifetime, sure.
oh my gosh. And sometimes when the thought of letting go of somebody is just almost too much because and once you do it, it can be very disruptive or it could cause you to be depressed or sad or whatever. But ultimately, if that person doesn't fit, as you said today in your show, a season, a reason, or
Lifetime,
a
yeah.
lifetime, I mean, it really does. It really is that.
And you wear I hate to say it, but there's an expiration date sometimes.
Yeah.
With friendships, with relationships, with work, in our lives there are some expiration dates. So
I learned a great thing. It was a couple weeks ago or so, and it was sometimes bridges are to be burned.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah.
I thought that made sense.
Well, I think you have to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
You have to really, and it's funny because people say, yeah, I say you have to love yourself enough to say no. You have to love yourself enough to say no, and not
Yeah.
repeat certain chronic patterns or behaviors, or even with people that have been around you. Again, if someone is not supporting you, and I always say, and you and I have talked about that, if you have friends and it's not a
Mhm.
50-50, I won't do it. I won't work for a friendship.
Oh,
I will not do it. And I've gotten rid of that because I'm sorry, I'm worth being a friend to.
definitely, definitely.
It's like people don't get that. And I know we're all
Yeah.
busy. We're all busy. And people make excuses all the time, different things. Well, if it's not heartfelt, then it's not heartfelt. And that's okay. But we have to be able to recognize it and let it go when it's time to let it go.
And that's just it. When it's time to let it go,
Yeah.
and there will be those times to let it go. And one of a great existential quote is, "Are you living for self? Or are you living for others?"
It's great.
And it's really accurate because if you're living for self, that means that you really have self worth.
You're taking care of
You're
yourself.
taking care of yourself. And that should be, again, taking care of yourself should be number one this year for everybody. Taking care of yourself. We all went through a lot in 2022.
Yeah.
Um,
Assess your mental health as
as-
well. And
Absolutely assess it.
provide yourself a safe space mentally.
Mhm.
What's your mental safe space? So I know we put like a meditation room, or we have a little spiritual development circle room, or whatever it is. Create a safe space. I said this today on my show. In the space that you're in, whether it's in your office, whether it's a bedroom, living room, have things around that your eyes can see that make you happy. Whether it's objects, whether it's a picture of Kelly White, whether it's a Buddha, where are my books, paintings,
Or a birdhouse.
a birdhouse, which Kelly said birdhouse crystal. It's an amazing birdhouse, by the way. I want to live in a birdhouse. And I'm in the middle of constructing where it's going to go. So I have
Good.
to.
I can't wait.
It'll be great. Yeah. I just don't think Kelly knows this. I put a whole bunch of bird feeders in my property and have some bird houses.
I love birds. I'm such a bird person. I want to read this. This is from Linguar Monica. So Linguar, I hope you're listening. She said, my husband left me and abandoned me, and we had our son. Our son died of SIDS, which is sudden infant death syndrome.
Yep.
I've gotten to the point where I'm ready to make my exit with this life. It's bad enough, and I'm just tired of the pain. So, Linguar, I want you to write this down. I want you to go to traumahealing.org, traumahealing.org, or the suicide hotline if you are in that position right now, if you're thinking that, because you've been through a lot. That's an awful lot of loss, honey. That's an awful lot of loss.
And it's intense. And
it's intense, and I understand it.
Yeah. And just another throwing this out there, that really the hardest lessons, which those are very hard, it says, are reserved for those of the advanced souls. So you're a high postgraduate, you're a highly.
This is definitely getting your PhD on Earth.
This is PhD on Earth. That's exactly right, Kelly. So those experiences that are the hardest ones that really work with us, they are the ones we grow from the most and expand from the most. And when we're in it in this three-dimensional world, we get caught up in it, and we're much better than. We are always going to remember their perspective. Here we go, the POV, the point of view.
Yeah.
We're bigger than that. And that's just stuff. Those are lessons we're learned. Hard lessons because they affect the emotional self, the mental self, the spiritual self as well, and the physical self. And they're really tough ones, but you're better than that. You're better than that. And you got to remember that. You are better than that. And everything happens for a reason. And that's one of the hardest, I think, experiences or high perspectives on this three-dimensional world. We don't always see the reason behind things. We don't know. There's always something. There's a reason behind everything, but we don't see it. The cloak is over us. The curtain is pulled. We can't understand everything when it happens. Like when parents lose children, why did God do that? They say there's a bigger reason. And the hardest part is we don't know what it is from this dimension, but there is a bigger purpose. There always is.
Yeah, I agree with that. Thanks, James, for that.
Yeah.
Rena Hunt says, we all need to hear this tonight. Love it. Good. Yeah. So,
Monica, I will. I'm sorry I have no self-esteem anymore. Well, sweetheart, I think you do. You've just been buried with a lot of stuff, but there's a light within you. There's a really strong light, and people need to see that light. And even if you call it pain or upset, that part of you will help someone else later on. Guarantee you.
Absolutely. Especially Linguar is working with people who've lost children through SIDS. I've known many, actually.
Same
and
here.
It is one of the hardest ones. It is, to me, it is the most difficult one.
Linguar, there's another organization which you might want to check into is Helping Parents Heal. And it's in Arizona, and I did some work with them, benefits, and they're wonderful people, and they understand, and they're very spiritual, by the way. They're very open-minded and spiritual, and it's helping parents heal from a lot of SIDS deaths. It runs their gamut. So they would help you as well.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Let's see.
Kelly, changing this new year.
Yeah.
Sleep a lot more.
Oh.
Get plenty of sleep. Make sure
you got a lot of sleep too, because Pearl was gone for a few days. No,
I did, but not anymore.
So I was just hoping that you slept a lot for those few days
because I needed it. Yeah, because my clock is up because I'm a night owl. I used to be, but now I got to be an early bird, and at 6:30 every morning she gets it.
You were always a night owl. That's so funny that now you have to be an early bird.
Oh my god!
Oh my god! That's so true.
So funny, but it's worth it. The unconditional love from an animal. Nothing like it. And she went this weekend. It was a lesson for me and everybody out there about controlling things. Well, I went to 2 dog parks on Sunday or Saturday. And at one point, she got together this pit bull cattle dog. And they ran off the meadow somewhere. And the parents are there with me and another couple. And 10 minutes later, I was like, I wonder where they are. And the lady looks at me, dogs will be dogs. I'm like, okay. And I was like, where's Pearl? And I screamed, Pearl, come home, come back. So finally came back. She was covered in mud, completely covered. They found a mud puddle. And I don't know what that mud is made of, but it was a dog puddle. And I looked at and the lady looked at me, and it was this control stuff pattern coming out. And she said, dogs will be dogs. I'm like, yes, they will. We'll go right to the bathtub after this. I was really in the shower in the bath. That's what my weekend was.
Oh my God, I think
But
that's so funny.
it's fun. And it's just
Yeah.
great. There's things we love, we gotta make sacrifices sometimes. And sacrifices is how we learn grace, I think. So
Oh, I love that. Grace is a big one, isn't it?
grace is a big one. Grace is a
Yeah.
big one. Very big one.
And I love this one. If you're not in love with your life, start changing it.
Yeah.
If you're not in love with your life.
Yeah, there's got to be a passion to what you do.
Mhm.
And like I said, people said, how long have you done mediumship? Don't you get tired of it? 40 years of doing this work. I said, well, the moment I get tired of it, I stop doing it because there's got to be passion, and it's got to be. And any type of work, any type of creative work or everyday daily work, one's going to have that passion behind
Yeah.
it. Just don't go through the ritual.
Right.
Just have a passion with it.
And going outdoors, out in nature is so good for you.
Nature's great.
I mean, it can really change your perspective on anything. I mean, I'm a bird person, as we were talking about it. I just love to look out and look at the birds.
Yeah.
I mean, I buy bird
You're a
books.
farmer now. You're a
I
farmer.
know, I'm a farmer now. Not really, but I live on a farm.
There was something on that movie that I wrote down to it, and it was accept that you live in a broken world. You can't fix it, but you can fix yourself.
Yeah. You can fix
That's
yourself.
psychotropic, so I went off that one. But
Okay.
did you watch the 60 Minutes interview of Harry?
I haven't, but I've seen parts of it.
I watched it last night. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
I could see his mother behind him. I swear to you, when he was being interviewed, I saw Diana right behind him. She was just smiling, and her eyes were lit up. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think that she's really wanting him to do this.
He's doing something she couldn't do. He's finishing that cycle that she started.
I'll tell you what, James, the Netflix changed my point of view on it.
Same here. Same
You
here.
too?
Yeah. Same with Megan as well. Yeah.
Mhm.
And that whole institution of that, someone else pointed out when the Queen was having the funeral, yes, it was beautiful and the pageantry was great, but it was all because they hurt people. They were enslaved people. They were owning countries, or their imperialism all over it. It was based on war.
And I think that Harry is an empath.
Totally.
And to be
Virgo as well, by the way.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I think that's fascinating. So, okay. Well,
questions.
Yeah, we had a lot of questions here. James Ardelia is asking, is there any chance that you're going to do a session on how to connect spiritually with your pets, current or deceased?
I have actually a course in my school, the JVP School of Mystical Arts, which there's a animal course that we have there. Does just that. That's exactly what it does.
Well, I know there are a lot of things we can talk about for the year, because let's talk. You're going to be doing a cruise.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to make a change in your life, I'm going to tell you what, everybody, definitely go
change.
If you want to make a change, go to this cruise in Alaska with James. It's
my last cruise, I think.
Do you think so?
I do think so. The only other place I want to go back to is Tahiti, which we've been to.
I know. We've done that a few times, and it's so great.
I love cruising because the connection on water, that lovely energy there, it's a whole different world, a whole different space to do mediumship and to work. And
there's nothing quite like it.
Like Kelly's been with me, and how many?
Oh, I've done so many of them, and they're so great. But I had an experience, and I have to tell the story, because if you're thinking about going on this cruise, if you're just even thinking about it, spirit on the other side, for your loved ones on the other side, are probably going to, kind of help put you in that position to go, because
they pull strings. They definitely
pull the strings. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
What happened. I mean, I've shared this story before, but it's just worth hearing again because it was an unbelievable story. I was going to Alaska with you, and what year was this? Last time?
Maybe 2015, 2016.
Maybe, I don't know, because we were trying to figure out. We did so many cruises during that period.
Yeah.
But it was anyway. My father had died the year before this cruise. And so I asked my stepmother, I said,
same ship, but we use the exact same ship. The
same
celebrity.
Celebrity, by the way, great ship,
Yeah.
great ship. And I asked my stepmother, Judy, I said, would you like to go with us? I mean, I know you're missing Dad. And she had never done anything like this in her life. And she said, well, yeah, I think I would like to go with you. And I said, okay. So we are on the ship, and James is starting, and it starts at 9 o'clock, and we're going to, be spending the whole day with him. And I said to my stepmother, look, we need to be there at 8:30 in the morning in our special, in the room, in the grand ballroom. We need to be there at 8:30 a.m. I said, I don't want to be late. She said, oh no, I'll be on time. And we left. And as we were trying to make our way to be there at 8:30 in the morning, wouldn't happen. Somebody distracted me over here. We got stuck in an elevator at one point. We had to wait for other people. I finally make my way down, and I'm so bugged because I can't stand to be late. And I promised you I'm going to be there a half an hour
late. You were like 10 minutes late.
Oh, it was like 10 after 9. I could not believe
Not
it.
that I was counting, but
Oh, I was so upset, James. I'm such an on-time person. I was so upset. And I'm like, where are we going to sit? Now there's no place to sit. And I'm like, oh God. So we walk up into the back. And although, by the way, everybody, all the seats are really good because it's in the round, and it really is quite phenomenal. But we had to, we climb up the stairs, and Judy walks in, and then I sit down, and then James goes, all right. James goes, we have to have a partner, get a partner, but it can't be somebody you know. So I turned to Judy and I said, sorry. And so she went to this partner, and I went to this partner, and we did a wonderful exercise, about maybe an hour.
Fabulous.
It was a fabulous exercise.
Yeah.
And then James goes, does anybody want to talk about it? And I see my stepmother. I can't even believe it. She goes, wah! Like her hand went like, wah! Like, and she's like 6 feet tall anyway. So when I see that hand went way up, I just couldn't believe it.
And she was shy at the beginning.
She was so shy. No. And here's what happened. It turned out that, Spirit had to orchestrate this. Yeah. So it turns out that both my stepmother, Judy, and the woman that she was working with both had husbands that died on August 1st, the year before, both named Lee, both professional trumpet players, both played with Stan Kenton, and both knew each other. Now, how can that be? Because if we had been there early and we had arrived, we would have sat in the front. We would have not had this experience. And I just say that because I know that my dad and this other trumpet player, I know that they manipulated it. They orchestrated it. It was unbelievable. And we talk about this to this day. Judy said it was one of the highlights of her life, was that trip.
Wow.
It was really an extraordinary trip. So if you're thinking about going, another really cool thing, James, that happened is when you use that room, like the grand ballroom.
Yes, that's right.
It's so amazing because all the spirits on the other side, our loved ones are there with us. And as you said, you can really feel it with the water. Well, you get your camera out and you start taking pictures, particularly on the last day. There were hundreds of orbs in that room, hundreds.
Some with faces in them, and it was amazing. And because we built up that space and the energy in that room the whole week. And it's this exact same room we're going to be using.
Oh, it's amazing.
That's what it's called, Stepping in the Spirit World. So I'm going to do it for myself. I've never gone to a cruise by myself as a leader, but I'm going to do this. And Kelly's going to be there as well, probably helping out. But it's going to be all about being with the spirit. And it's going to be inviting them into the space and kind of living the day with them and opening ourselves up to be more aware on a daily level of how they're interacting with us. So thanks, Renee. That's the cruise ship. And that's Stepping in the Spirit World. It'll be very different than cruises I've done before. And Susan Geisman is another medium from Florida. She's doing one, I think, the same week or the week before on Holland America. Very different.
Very different ship.
Different ship.
Yeah.
And I'm just by myself. She's doing a different, someone else. It's a different cruise. But it'll be great. And the celebrities, the fourth time to Alaska because the glaciers are going. And
to see the color of the glaciers was amazing too. It's life. Yeah, dogs. We did dog sledding. The whales, and I love that you talked today about that whale in Dana Point
that was born yesterday. Yeah, you see a lot of whales on this trip as well.
Yeah, so. A lot of whales, a lot of eagles.
Yeah, a lot of
eagles. I saw bears. I mean, I couldn't get over it. It was the most amazing thing. Yes,
you see a lot of someone saw a polar bear.
Right.
Yeah, it's fun. So
it's so fun.
And that's my birthday, by the way.
I know, the 23rd. I thought about that.
My birthday.
Yeah.
They'll be celebrating my birthday
We'll
on
be
that.
celebrating James's birthday. How fun is that going to be?
Birthday.
65th. I know.
Isn't that wild?
Well,
I just happen to be that. Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. I'm a year older than you. I don't know.
Thank you.
I think for
I
my
just realized that
60th,
look at the screen.
no,
That,
I saw that earlier. And it's funny, James, on my 60th, we went to Europe.
oh God!
Yeah, so this is a big one. I mean, it's going to be great, and anybody, you should join us if you have any ideas that you want to add this to your life. It would be it's
Northern
really
Lights,
remarkable.
the Northern Lights, Mark Webb. I saw the Northern Lights on last Alaska cruise I was on. The Northern Lights. Yeah,
Wow, how
yeah,
amazing!
yeah.
It's going to be.
And the other thing, Kelly, you have something going on.
I do. Well, I have two things going
Okay.
on. There's a couple of things. On January 28th, we have our third and final Lemuria and Atlantis event with Prajna, because as you may recall, we had to postpone it because we were both ill. Because we were both ill. So anyway, we're going to have our third event. So please join us for that. If you are at all drawn to that time period, Atlantis or Lemuria, it's going to be extraordinary, actually. And then the other thing I'm doing is on February 25th, I am doing a show or an event with Dr. Shirley and Pellizzari, and it's called Surviving a Narcissist. So, right. You got to come in. This will be great because it's going to be a dialogue between Shirley and me, and we're going to be talking about real life situations, traits of narcissists, the different types of narcissists that there are, because a lot of people, I'll never forget, James, when I was seeing my therapist, I'll never forget when she said to me, "You do know that person's a narcissist, right?" And I said, it hadn't even dawned on me. And the thing about knowing that is that once you get that, there's no treatment for narcissism. There just isn't. And then it just puts you in a place where you go, okay, and
You're
now
aware.
what you're aware. How do you want to exit? What do you want to do? How do you want to deal with that? And Shirley and I are going to be doing an hour and 15 minutes probably on just the dialogue between the two of us. And then we're going to do your personal questions and answers. So with that.
Well, one of the things you helped me with years ago, I guess it was sociopaths. And one thing you did, what you're going to do for the narcissist, I know, is give the characteristics. And 'cause levels
Characteristics.
of narcissism. There can be extreme narcissism to very light narcissism.
Well, malignant narcissism, and then there's closet narcissists, who are the ones that, will give you a party and they think it's, it's for you, but in actuality, it's for them. And you're like, what? But I don't want a party. Yes, you really do. It's like, oh my God.
A friend of mine said, you got to catch the last reunion of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Now,
I saw it.
you saw it.
Of course.
Yes,
Well,
prime.
I part of my group. I have to.
Yeah. Some of them are people I've known. Some of them
That's
are
right.
clients of mine. Yeah.
That's
But
right.
it was real. And talk about narcissistic.
Whoa.
Wow.
Oh, well, that whole area is quite heightened.
Well, it was funny. I was watching on this YouTube because I was trying to catch up with. Well, I haven't seen that show in years, but the Real Housewives they have of the Potomac and Atlanta. It was like
Salt Lake City, even. Oh, total narcissist.
Narcissist.
You'd have to be a narcissist to do that. But narcissism is on a continuum. So it starts. We're going to cover narcissists, but if you have questions, as we're listening to the questions, it may be further down the continuum into borderline behavior. Are you walking on eggshells? Sociopathic? Are you being gaslit? Because we're going to talk about gaslighting. Kellee, is there a rise in narcissistic behavior? Yes. And is there a reason there are so many on the planet these days? Yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I believe it's so we can, especially as empaths, can get our strength, have our strength, set boundaries, and still have our strength. Because narcissists they cling to empaths.
Yeah.
They just, it's like a moth to a flame with that. And I feel that as an empath, as we have to learn boundaries. And it's an advanced class, right, James? It's an advanced class. Here's the other thing. If you don't get the lesson from the first narcissist, I guarantee there'll be a second that'll be worse, and a third that's worse, and a fourth that's worse, and then next thing you're married to a psychopath. So I'm just saying, James.
And you'll talk about dysfunction and all that.
We're going to talk dysfunction. We're going to give tips to survive and then to thrive.
You should write a book on this.
Well, Shirley and I actually started with my mom And yeah, I'll tell you the name of it later. We actually have it.
Characteristics and descriptions. And I mean, you taught me
Yep.
so much about what to look for. And you'll say, I'll be talking to Kelly on the phone and say, this is what happened. Oh, that person's a sociopath.
Oh my God. Well, and because what happens is I can, without meeting them, right? I'm listening to the behavior and
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
And when you hear the behavior, my mother taught me that years ago, you don't meet the person, you just listen to the behavior. Because once you meet the person, they're charming. And that's a big thing with narcissists too. Charming. They're charming, you know.
It's so interesting. It's so interesting. And sociopaths just do it for themselves, but look smiling while they're
Oh,
doing it. It's all about
well,
themselves.
Mavis used to tell us when we were in New York with Mavis, and I said, what causes that? And she said, oh, I'll tell you. She said, the soul doesn't connect into the body.
It's not fully integrated. The soul is
Mm,
not fully integrated into the physical body.
yeah.
It's
I thought
true.
that was so interesting.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was wow.
So
Wow.
anyway, oh, Kelly, hi, Renee. Yes, I am. I'll teach another class in star seeds.
Yeah,
We did. Yeah, Renee, thank you for that. And thank you for your lovely daughter too. She was wonderful. Yeah, I'll write that down. I love working with star seeds.
now here's Sue Wells. I walked away from 40-year friendship because she turned into a narcissist. I let our friendship go. I'm free from the behavior. Same here, Sue Wells. I've done it many times, letting bye-bye the narcissist.
And
Bye-bye.
it's not an easy thing to do necessarily to walk away, but it's necessary for your growth.
For your own survival. And
Yeah.
again, if people aren't supporting you, bye-bye.
Mhm.
Because they're just taking from you. If they're not supporting you, they're taking from you. So
Right.
that's really what it's about. Just having people in that connection where you
Totally.
give and
Lo-
take.
Laura Isaac, she says, narcissists will completely dissect you down to a shell of nothingness. It takes a lot of strength to rebuild yourself after that. 100%, Laura.
Great way of putting it. Great.
Great way of putting it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very true. I mean, I think that we've all been on this, in this position of having this. Hi, Ardelia from Australia. Will there be a recording for the narcissist webinar? Yes, I will. Yes, because it will be 3 a.m. your time. Yes, we will definitely record it. And everybody who signs up for it will get it. Yes. So, and also, don't you have you have the new one coming up with coaching?
Life coach course. Today's the first day we're taking people for registration.
Okay, so today would be a great day to take that course. This year would be a great year for this because again, life coaching, you're helping. It covers everything, and you're helping others with this. And as you learn more about that, you learn more about yourself.
It's true. So everybody can read about it. It's at school page. Right there is the connection. But it's a really great course about, again, like cleansing yourself, understanding yourself from a soul point of view, understanding others. And it's really the tools that you need to, to help you with life, if you will, at this time. And right now is a good time to take the course, not only astrologically, but what's going on in the world and what's going on around in the spaces around us. So it's a good time for the course, how they, it's so funny how these things develop and are presented at the time they're meant to.
Right. That's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, I love this. Okay, wait. What do you do if the narcissist is a parent? We're going to be talking about that double N, because it's really rough when you have a parent that's a narcissist. We're going to be talking about it from a relationship, a sibling, which is really rough too. But a parent, a mother or a father, it's brutal. It's brutal. But we'll be talking about that.
When you're married to a narcissist, that's not good either.
It's awful. Let's see. I've done that twice, James. That's awful.
It can also be karmic. There's a karmic relationship.
Absolutely. And again, what are you learning? You're learning boundaries. Lindsay, I felt a veil being lifted when I finally and I was able to save myself with the help of my family. Bravo. James wrote a free online book which described the lifting of the veil and completely validated my spiritual aha moment.
Great, Lindsay. Great. Wow.
Wow, maybe you could post that book again, James. Do you remember the book?
I don't.
Oh.
I think it was through Hay House.
Okay. And Linda Lou Dirt says that Alaska cruise sounds good, but I can't find info on your site. But it's on your site. I went to it. Vanpragh.com.
VANPRAH.com. And if you look at events, under the events, it's right there. It's the only event I think we have there. We have Florida is coming up, I think, next year, and the Alaska cruise. That's it, really.
Okay. Wait, and Ann Margaret says, what is the cruise about? So
it's really it's working with the spirit world. It's really delving into, if you will, the spaces around us, your own soul, having a relationship with your own soul, understanding what that means, and being mindful of the relationships in your life, your family, your friends, your soul group. We're discussing about a pre-life planning before we come back to the earth. What are the lessons we come back to learn? Soul groups. What are soul groups? Why do we come back with them? Understand who your soul group is here on this earth. We're going to do past life regressions as well. So it's from a soul's point of view. And also I'm going to help people throughout the week learn how to kind of have an out-of-body experience, leaving the body, going in and out. I have one course called A Day in the Spirit World on my school, which has been very popular and really well received. And it's going to be some techniques from there, and also some other techniques that I've learned through different teachers about leaving the body, coming back to the body, astral projecting, out-of-body experiences. And we're going to work a lot with that and understand different realms of the spirit world. There's going to be some guided meditations. There's going to be lots of exercise for you to do on your own. It's a very safe space, and it's walking with the spirit world. It's almost like walking side by side with spirit, and being aware of when you're working with them and walking with them, and the subtlety that you know that they're in your space, and you understand who your guides are. Working with your guides, you spend a whole day just with guides, and who your guides are. And also, I'm going to have, I said this today on my show, but I'm going to have, of course, an outline of what's going to be covered. But I find it really important, and Kellee will attest this, that when I get with the group, things change because the energy of the group brings in different understandings. The level of the group, of their experiences, will change things up a bit. So I'm really open to changing things up as well.
Oh, I've seen you do that. And you always make a point of saying that this is a group that will never be together exactly the way it is again.
True. It's true.
And the energy that comes through is just remarkable.
You'll never experience it again because these people will never be put together again in one space. They will be in that week. So it's the only time in your lifetime you'll be with these people. And just that fact, don't you think the spirit world's involved in it? You bet they are. They're influencing that person. Like what happened to your stepmother. I mean, it's so amazing what happens on these cruises. And that's why I wanted to do it. I don't need to. I wanted to do it because it's magic. And especially Alaska, it's magical. And I wanted to experience that again and share it.
Yeah, it is. Do you have to be a medium to go on the ship?
Not in the least.
Not in the least.
Not in the least. Not in the least.
No.
No.
Did I hear you say earlier today you'll be doing readings for people too?
I will be doing readings.
Doing some readings?
I'll be doing a lot of readings. Yes. You'll be doing readings. I'll be doing readings.
I'm happy to do readings. It's always so much fun.
Yeah. We'll do a lot of readings. Well, there's so many readings, people are going to get tired of readings because I'll do them. Kellee do them. The people that are going to be on the ship, you'll be learning how to do readings, how to become aware of the subtle energies, working with partners, 2 partners, 1 partner. It'll be a fun time. So
it's really fun. And you get to meet people of like minds.
Yes. And your life will change. Your life will change.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, it will. Oh, my gosh. So let's see.
Kellee will be in the Alaska cruise. Yes, Kellee's going to be in the Alaska cruise.
I will be there.
And how many will be there? As many as sign up. So I don't know yet, but
can you have up to 200 or
200? Yeah, up to 200.
Okay. Yeah.
Now it's very small, so who knows?
And it's really fun because we have dinners together and we have cocktails together and
dance together.
We dance. We'll do a lot of dancing. That's really fun.
Yes. Yeah. And it's a good time for people to get out of because we're in COVID for so long. Yeah. And inside, it's great. It's a great way to bring yourself out with other people and have that connection with other people in a very safe and wonderful space. So yeah, it's great. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
It's so fun. Oh my gosh.
Hi from Brisbane. Hi, Joanne from Brisbane.
Hey, let's see. Sandy, I can't say the middle one, but
from Evans.
Yeah, that was good. How do you know if you're having an out-of-body experience or if it's just a dream or a vision? Great question.
Well, you'll know it because it's a different experience than a dream or a vision. It's a little different. It's different. You're kind of, it's another way of perception. It's being a different level of perception. Like everyone has a different experience of it, but fully involved in the experience and fully there. Where a dream, you get pieces of things in a dream, but here you're fully kind of present in that out-of-body experience. You're fully aware and present. I can only describe it. You go through dimensions, and that's what we're going to try to do in this cruise. Because as we're traveling through the water.
Well, and going through water, when you're on a ship, it feels different. And when you walk into this grand ballroom, you can feel it like this.
You said the first day we were on that ship and you said, wow, feel the energy in this room.
It's unbelievable just thinking about it. And it's just so much fun, you guys. Just will love it. No, and it's not cold. I know, Heather, you think that you're allergic to the cold. It's
It's not
Alaska is
bad.
something else. It's not like that.
In
I
August,
mean,
it's very warm. It's not just like
yes, yeah.
very 70s Fahrenheit, maybe 80s.
And what I found amazing is that you can buy coats there for like really cheap, $20, $25. Do you remember that?
Yes, and jewelry. I bought a
And jewelry. Oh yeah, I do remember that. Yeah,
remember that? Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, and then we stop in these great little ports as well. Old,
yeah.
really wonderful ports. Ketchikan, and it's great.
Oh yeah,
Great.
it's so great. So, well, let's see. Liz, is there a meaning to dreaming about
Kelly
snakes?
Valley. There you go, Kelly.
Yeah, snakes really, it's your Kundalini energy rising. It means you are definitely getting prepared for spiritual work. Snakes are about transformation. So you're changing, your energy is changing a lot. It can be your sexuality is changing. It can be that your spirituality is changing. It's very important dreaming about snakes.
Yeah, it's that serpent energy. It's that
Mhm.
feeling of the energy that rises up, and that's a Kundalini rising up. And
Kundalini rising up. I
what
get asked a lot, James, about what it feels like when you start to have spiritual awareness. And you get like, I mean, for me, I'd get tingles everywhere. I don't know how else to explain it.
tingles. I'd feel a sense of like wah wah around my
Yeah.
head, wah wah wah, and it was just. And I remember when I first started developing, sitting in a circle, that I'd have this sense that my aura would change, and expand, and I'd become big, big, like a giant, and then very, very small, very big. And we
Did
did
you
that
ever see colors when that happened?
colors. I saw colors.
Yeah.
I can describe the colors to you because they're not of this world. I don't know how to.
Right.
It's almost like a glow, some kind of a glow, degrees of glow of color, I guess you would say, because there are these different dimensions, there are different colors, if you will, and different values of color than we know about.
Oh,
Yes, they're very interesting.
wow. Ardelia, I've been having so many dreams within a dream and have been
Great.
so at peace being there. And it feels like such a peaceful and safe place. I don't know what it means to have a dream within a dream.
What do you?
Oh,
I've never heard of it, so
yeah, it's almost like you want that to continue. I think you're in different realms
yeah,
and
different levels of consciousness. And
yeah,
is that same thing, Kelly, where I know that I'm dreaming right now, and I want to stay in this dream.
yes,
Is that
yes, same, exactly. You're starting to become aware.
I love that. I
I
love that.
do
Very
too.
cognitive of that you're dreaming, and you just want to stay there.
Yeah, I right. That's so true. Lisa Hendrickson, I felt my body leave my bed one night. Scary. Would that be considered an out of body experience? That'd be astral projection.
Astral projection, and it's only scary because you don't know about it. That's the only
Yeah,
reason. Fear, because
yeah.
fear is the unknown. That's
And once you have that thought, you're back in your body anyway.
we
And
leave
you never just leave.
now. You leave, every night you leave your body. You're always connected by the silver cord. The silver cord is connected from the solar plexus to your physical body, to your spirit body, right here. And when we time to go home, when we graduate and go through what they call death, that cord is severed, and you're free. You're aware. But yeah, you can learn how to leave the body, come back to the body. Leave, and we're going to be doing that in the cruise, learning about opening up and leaving and coming back. It's great.
I mean, so you're really going to hit on a lot of really interesting subjects here.
A lot of disciplines. A lot of us leave our body without even thinking about it, and it's in different levels of consciousness. So if you're driving a car and all of a sudden you miss your exit, like, what was I thinking? You weren't in your body. You were somewhere else. You weren't present. Happens when you're reading a book sometimes. We don't remember what we just read, or watching a movie. You got to rewind the movie. Wait, what happened? So that happens to us.
Right, right.
I'm not talking about getting older too and not remembering. We just
Now, James, are you starting your new show on Thursday after this Thursday?
Yes, actually, I am. So it'll be Soul Care on
Okay.
Thursdays. Yeah, Soul Care Thursdays, and it's going to be digging deep dives into some courses of my school. Basically, it'll be deep diving into different courses of the school. So every Thursday, I'll pick a different course, and we'll kind of dissect it and get into it and talk about that particular course and exercises and so forth.
It'll be this Thursday at noon Pacific time.
Yes.
Super. Oh my gosh.
Soul
Well,
Care.
everybody, have a great week.
Have a great week. Make a difference with this year.
Make good choices.
Make good choices, and good luck with the assessment. That's very valuable.
Yeah, really is. All right. Take care, everybody.
Thank you. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now and Beyond, featuring spiritual medium and master teacher James Van Praagh and spiritual medium and psychotherapist Kellee White.
That was great. Maybe we changed some lives.
And maybe opened up some minds.
Which way do I turn?
Right. I mean left.
The James and Kellee Show.